We are living through a moment of transformation that we haven't seen since the Industrial Revolution.
The middle is being squeezed. The poor, there are more of them. And the rich are doing great in the world of Obama.
A higher minimum wage will not bring anyone even into the middle class in this country.
And we lower that corporate tax rate. We know it raises middle class wages.
Many of the jobs that once sustained our middle class are now being done by machines, or they don't pay what they once did.
How many of you think the federal government's going to save the middle class? If you raise your hand, you came to the wrong meeting.
Some of the 2016 presidential field with their takes on how to bring back the middle class. And joining us now, New York Times bestselling author Peter Kiernan. His new book, American Mojo, Lost and Found, Restoring Our Middle Class Before the World Blows By. Good to have you on board. Congratulations on this next book. You say women will be the new engine of the middle class.
Well, I think women are a flex factor, and you have to look back over a 50-year slice. But if you look today, every minute of every day, women start a business in this country. That's the cradle of job creation.
Is that more than men?
Much more than men, at a rate of 2 to 1.
Why is that?
I know, and aren't they having trouble getting access to capital?
Well, about 70%, it's interesting, about 70% of the venture capital goes to men. But women have a determination to grow and build, and that's what they're doing.
So you talk about things that have to be done. Commit to $1 trillion on U.S. infrastructure, create massive good jobs, and encourage greater new business creation. Put some meat on those bones.
Sure.
If you're advising Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, or any of these other Republican candidates, what would you tell them the first thing they need to do?
It seems like, to your point, it seems like all 20 people who are running for president want to embrace the middle class. None of them are being terribly specific about how. The first thing I would do is create a $1 trillion goal, a commitment. It would create jobs. It would engage.
You mean infrastructure?
If we did the infrastructure, yes. And if we did that, we would create good jobs, multiplier jobs, jobs that would require you to hire somebody else alongside. And it would do one other important thing. It would engage the people of the United States in rebuilding of the country.
But a lot of people would say that we played clips of. Well, we tried that in 2009, and Barack Obama found out, as he admitted later, there were not shovel-ready projects, and it may not have been the best way to create those jobs.
Well, I'll tell you that I would never confuse an orgy of spending with a development effort. And the truth is, there are many, many shovel-ready jobs right now in this country waiting for money. We have not touched the gas tax since 1993. And everywhere you look, we have crumbling infrastructure. If you look further, there are jobs out there. There are 4 million high-skilled jobs right now available, open. These jobs don't need to be created. They need to be filled. There's a big difference.
Phil.
Peter,
yeah.
When you talk about how the middle class does not look now like what we kind of all envision in our heads the middle class actually is. How do you define middle class? What is middle class in today's society, today's economy?
You know, middle class has become a mapmaker's nightmare for this reason. It used to be sort of a block, and it was easy, it was mostly white, it was an earnings level. Now it looks more like an atom with a core group, and then millions of electrons going in and out. And the way I would describe it is there are about 45 million poor people in the country today, and that's really tough. But just above them are 50 million more Americans who are hovering. They're hovering just a twist of life's knife away from a trip down to the middle class. So that 40% of Americans' kids will spend some part of their childhood receiving food stamps, and a family receives food stamps. So the entering and leaving of the middle class is changing everything.
So, isn't this just a much bigger problem? I mean, the more we talk about this, the more it seems to me that we are a country that grew up with a sense of optimism since the war.
Yes.
That we were going to always control 50%, of the world's economy because the other 50% was bombed. And there has been a steady decline, but a lot of that has just been natural, the natural order of things. Germany builds its factories back. Japan builds its factories back. China wakes up and gets into they're still in the 20th century. But, isn't this just a natural order of things?
It is the seminal point. It is the seminal point of the book. If you look outside our borders, that's where 80% of the purchasing power is on the globe. That's where 90% of the economic growth is in the globe. That's where 95% of the consumers are in the
So
globe.
you're actually saying take what many people have seen as a negative, the fact that we're now in massive competition with the rest of the world, turn it into a positive and get their money.
Here's a way to do it. If you look at non-Japan Asia, about 4% of their economies are spent on health care. We're about 20%. We have the gold standard in economy. If we shipped our capacity in health care to these countries, we would benefit. Our middle class would benefit. The OECD says there'll be 1 billion new members of the middle class outside our borders. Who knows better than American companies, Americans, how to feed them with services and products? Our solution is overseas.
The book is American Mojo. Peter Kiernan, thank you very much.
Great.
Great to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Up
Thanks,
next, breaking details about